Welcome to the Artwork of You, the podcast where your life is the canvas and you are the masterpiece. I'm your host, Lori Guin, and together we'll explore creativity, self-awareness, mindset, goal strategy, and the importance of accountability so that you can paint your life's portrait with confidence and ease. Remember, in the gallery of life, you're not just a spectator, you are the art. So let's grab our brushes and start creating the masterpiece that is you. Hello, my friends. Happy New Year. I am so glad that you are here with me today because today I want to talk about a completely different way of thinking about the year ahead. I know that we're all familiar with the new year, new you mindset that takes over our social media feeds and conversations at this time of the year. But I'm also sure that you are aware that constantly chasing new goals or trying to reinvent yourself can be exhausting. So what if this year, instead of scattering your energy across 100 new things, you focused on mastering just one? Imagine what that could mean for your life. What I mean is not just accomplishing something, but transforming through it. Because mastery is not about checking the boxes or achieving external accolades. It's about committing to something so deeply that it changes not just what you do, but who you are. So today we're going to explore what it means to make 2025 your year of mastery, why it matters, how to approach it, and what it can reveal about your potential. So let's start with a question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word mastery? I know that for some, it might sound a little intimidating, like something only experts or maybe prodigies can achieve. But mastery isn't about being perfect or even the best. It's about depth. It's about showing up consistently for something meaningful, not to prove anything to anyone else, but to yourself. In Japan culture, there's a term called shokunin, which describes the path of the craftsman, someone who dedicates their life to their craft, not for fame or fortune, but for the joy and integrity of the work itself. In other words, mastery is a mindset, not a milestone. It's an ongoing relationship with growth and a devotion to something that matters deeply to you. And this perspective can be really freeing because it shifts the focus from outcomes to the process itself. Instead of asking, when will I achieve this? You start asking, how deeply can I engage? That single shift in perspective can open up a whole new way of experiencing life, one where you're not rushing to the next thing, but are fully present in what you're doing now. Because here's the thing about mastery, it will show you who you really are. When I think about my own journey, one of the clearest examples is when I decided to go all in on my art career. For 5 years, I committed to mastering my craft. I did not know how to paint professionally, let alone how to navigate the art world, but I poured myself into it, learning, experimenting, and really showing up every single day. What I didn't expect was how much the process would teach me about myself. It revealed my impatience, my fear of failure, and my tendency to compare myself to others, but it also showed me my resilience, my creativity, and my ability to find joy in the process. And those lessons didn't just stay in my art practice, they bled into every part of my life. Because mastery is a mirror, it will reflect back not just your strengths, but also the beliefs and behaviors that hold you back. And that's where the real growth happens. So let me ask you, what has your current level of commitment taught you about yourself this year in 2024? Have you discovered patterns that are holding you back or strengths you didn't know that you had? Mastery will invite you to look deeply and embrace what you find, both the good and the challenging. And now let me caution you, choosing mastery is not a casual decision because it does require courage. The courage to say no to distractions, to let go of things that don't align with your deeper purpose, and to face the discomfort of staying with something long enough to see real progress. And in a world that's obsessed with quick wins and multitasking, mastery might almost be considered, I would say, an act of rebellion. Because think about it. How often do you let yourself get pulled in 1,000 directions because you're afraid to fully commit? It's easier to dabble, to keep your options open, to avoid the vulnerability of saying, this is what I'm going all in on. But what if that very thing you're avoiding, that deep focused commitment, is the thing that could unlock the next level of potential for you. I want you to ask yourself, what would it mean to choose one thing and pursue it with your whole heart this year? Not because it's trendy or impressive, but because it genuinely matters to you. And just as importantly, what are you willing to let go of to make room for that commitment? Because when you commit to mastering one thing, it doesn't just change that one area of your life. It ripples into everything else. Again, when I was mastering my art, I didn't just become a better painter. I became more disciplined, more patient, and more attuned to my creative process. And those lessons carried over when I returned to my coaching practice. And honestly, they've made me a better coach. Mastery will transform your identity. It shifts what you believe you are capable of. And that shift doesn't just inspire you, it challenges and inspires the people around you because you start to show up differently with more confidence and clarity and purpose. And people notice that. So, what if mastering one thing could quietly change everything? Take a moment to imagine that ripple effect and what it could look like in your life. How might mastering one skill or habit unlock doors and opportunities that you did not even know were there? I also want to remind you first that mastery isn't linear. Growth often looks like spirals, plateaus, and even setbacks. Sometimes it feels like you're moving backward before you break through to that next level. And second, the deeper you go, the more you realize how much there is to learn. In other words, mastery will humble you, but in the best possible way. Because true mastery is about letting go. It's about releasing your need for control or perfection and surrendering to the process. And I know this might sound counterintuitive, but the more you try to force mastery, the further it can feel. Instead, it's really about being fully present and allowing the process to shape you as much as you shape it. You must embrace the contradictions and fall in love with the fact that mastery is never really finished. I want you to visualize for a minute and imagine it's December 2025 and you have committed to mastering one thing. What does your day-to-day life look like? How has this pursuit changed your mindset, your habits, and your sense of self? Who have you become in the process? And so as we wrap it up, I will leave you with this challenge. Choose one thing to master in 2025. Reflect on how mastering this will redefine your personal narrative. I suggest sharing your choice with someone you trust and who will support you to solidify your commitment. And ask yourself, what if 2025 became the most transformative year of your life because you chose depth over distraction? Mastery isn't about the end goal. It's about becoming the person who shows up fully for the experience. You are capable. You are deserving. Make 2025 the year you master something meaningful. That's a wrap for today, my friends. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And remember to show up in your life like the masterpiece you are, because you are the artwork. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Have a fabulous day.